Welcome, Scorpio, to your Scorpio September 2021 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, for those who are stopping by for the first time, and to the subscribers, much love and affection to you as always. You know, I think a lot about you during the month, and I sent a lot of good energy your way as well, that you probably feel from time to time. I am certain of it. Now, and in fact, I've done some readings for some of you personally from different parts of the world over the course of the last month, and if you would like to have a reading with me from anywhere in the world, just check out the information that's in the description box below. But now, we're going to take 5 cards to find out what is in store for you for this month. 5 is all we need, because with the combination of the numerology, the astrology, the elements, and the places in which the cards land, they always have a lot to say to you, don't they? Haven't you found that? In fact, it's astonishing how much a single card has to say to you with respect to what's going to be happening during the month. Anyway, let's see what the cards are, and then we'll see what they have to say. So what's this one? Who wants something to say to you? That is strength. There's another one here. This has something to say, the 3 of discs. This one is what? The Wheel of Fortune. Well, looks like it's going to be a good time for you, I'd say. There's the 10 of Wands. And actually some quite interesting titles on these, which you'll see in just a second. And let's get something from in here, shall we? I don't know what they are. There is the 7 of Discs. Beautiful, beautiful original artwork on these. Anyway, come and sit down next to me. We'll have a good close look at the wonderful, original, creative paintings on these cards together while I do the reading for you. There now, can you see those? I think you ought to be able to. Let's have a look first at this 7 of Discs. Now this is an energy, interestingly, that's on its way out. Well, let's have a look at it closer up, shall we? Let's have a look to see what the image can tell us. And it talks about incubation. Well, that may be so. Well, in the painting here, a bear. Now, where you might just be able to see it in here, a mother bear hibernates while 2 cubs grow in her stomach. Next to her, a sparkling path over a frozen pond spirals inwards to a crescent moon, as we see through here. Now, it is not the full moon with its illuminating light, but the dark moon. What is happening in the dark of consciousness, where no one can see. Now, the mother bear in this painting is protected in her vulnerable state by a spirit bear, it looks to me, can you see that? Who watches over her. Now, bears are often symbols of protection, and the state of incubation is one that needs safeguarding. We must keep it free from interference and from our own restlessness and striving. To push something before it is ready is to risk a premature birth. Although a premature baby can be placed in an incubator to continue its development, we can't always return our projects and relationships into a protective womb, can we? So it is better to wait until the gestation is complete. Now, this card, I think, symbolizes a time of waiting. All things need to gestate. And this is a time of incubation. Something is developing, but it is out of sight. Often we become discouraged and restless in these situations, thinking that nothing is happening. Something is happening, though. Something new is being formed in the dark reaches of your consciousness, in the cocoon, in the cave, in the womb. Now, in shamanic terms, this card refers really to a descent into the underworld, the body of earth where we meet our animal guides. You may also experience it as a descent into your human body in a deeper way. Now, the astrology of this card for me is that of Saturn in the third decan of Taurus, out of the 11th to the 20th of May. Now, Saturn is slow-moving and a restrictive planet very often. And Taurus is a plodding, fixed earth sign, and together they can combine to create what in your life might feel like stagnation. But the number 7 here has the planet Venus associated with it, which brings love, beauty, and the promise of relationship and business coming your way. And it also refers to an area of divine emanation prior to the explosion of the divine spirit into space and time, into matter, which we mystics refer to as victory. Now, as a result, because there is some incubation here, you may find that there are delays in payments. You might need to look for longer-term results with respect to things that you're working on, but there is slow and steady growth. You might need to wait for money, or it might feel as if you are really working through something of a dry spell. Now, it's also the case that your ability to deal with things during this period and with this energy around it might be blocked by heavy and even fearful expectations. Well, you should now look at their content and quality carefully. What areas of your life do you worry the most about? Write a complete list of your worst expectations, and then take a new piece of paper and change each fear into its positive opposite. Keep working with these lists, change them when necessary, and decide consciously. Look for someone who will support you in this. And say to yourself now, I am willing to release all that is not serving me in my life. I have the courage to believe that all that happens in my life serves me for the best. Well, let me look at what's on the same horizontal as it, because this is also a Saturn energy around here. This time it's Saturn in Sagittarius. But let's have a look at it. It says, no self. Well, what might I make from that? No self. The 10 of Wands. And that's in focus, I think. Good. Well, the oneness inherent in the state of no self is, it seems to me, portrayed in this picture by the fact that the person and the environment are made of the same substance. In the center of the heart is a prism, symbolizing how underlying consciousness or being is refracted into the multiplicity that makes up the manifest world. The experience of no self is a reminder of this underlying wholeness, it seems to me. I think this Ten of Wands here signifies leaving behind our usual identity and ego activity. It is the experience of no self that is called upon here. And that's an experience that ultimately helps loosen the old identity and move you along in your experience of self-realization. No self is what is left when the usual sense of personal self is dissolved. Once you've felt this more radical state of freedom, you can never really quite fall back into believing your story and the identity that goes with it. Although we often resist this loss of self, this personal identity that we have built up since we were children, the experience itself is quite simple. Now, I think no self is empty space, immaculate and pure, emptied of everything structured by the mind. Now, mind can still function, but without the unnecessary activity. Activity is replaced with stillness, suffering with peace, identity with a sense of simple presence. Now, most often, the experience of no self follows years of preparation. It comes from daily work of loosening your attachments, seeing more clearly the structure of your usual ego identity and identifying with it less and less, and from coming to know the empty space that lies beneath the usual activity of the mind. It may come in a moment of stillness, as a flash, and expansion after working through a psychological contraction, or as the emptiness encountered in a meditation retreat when you stop identifying with the thoughts, feelings, and images that make up your usual sense of self. When this comes up for you in this position, as it has, it signals an opportunity to drop into an inner silence that is sweet and restful. You may initially react to this inner emptiness with fear and judgment, but remember that true emptiness is peaceful, rather than the painful sense of something missing, which I might call deficient emptiness. No self is a pristine and pure emptiness filled with radiant light. Now, I said that there was Saturn around here, and there is. There's Saturn in the third decan of Sagittarius, the 13th to the would it be the 22nd, I think, of December. Well, Sagittarius wants to expand and express its optimism and spiritual side. And Saturn, as I mentioned, can be about restriction. And so it can repress the expansive nature of Sagittarius. But when you can get into the situation of no self, nothing can worry you. Sagittarius is spiritual, swift, light, elusive, and luminous. Now, Saturn is, I suppose, material, slow, heavy, and obstinate, and obscure. And this can talk about a degree of feeling repressed. But I really think that it is a will which has not understood anything beyond its purpose. I think what this is saying to you now is that this is an opportunity for you to do away with thoughts that you are being repressed or oppressed by someone. You see, it is the case that if you have power, but you don't believe you have power, then you don't have power. But even if you don't have power, but you believe that you do, then you do have power. And you have power in your situation for this month. Well, I think I might go to this Strength card here, I think. Such tremendous things in store for you. The Wheel of Fortune, the Three of Discs. Let's see what this has got to say for you here quickly, shall we? And have a look at what is here. Well, again, what a fascinating painting. Now, what is the message of it? Moving from the core. Okay. Well, that's kind of like what we were talking about before, wasn't it, in a sense? Now, moving from the core, well, strength is potency. Power is potency. It is the ability to meet what is difficult and act in alignment with your values. When you speak from truth and are in alignment with that truth, others around you are going to feel it. Your presence is big, like a mountain, like this giant pyramid mountain here, or these pyramids that are here. And people can sense your solidity and your integrity. Now, that mountain-like presence is very similar, I think, to the pyramids that are in the background of the card that are here, don't you think? The pyramid, incidentally, is the most stable physical form. Having a stable base like this allows you to extend yourself in daring ways. I think much of our attention in this card should be captured by this woman that is in the foreground here. She is, what I think, is belly dancing, which is the perfect expression of a more complementary model of strength. Now, I've had the very good fortune to look at a lot of belly dancers over the years, and belly dancing is a demanding discipline executed in a fluid way. It combines a toned body, the more masculine principle of form, with the more feminine principle of surrender. Now, the woman's bird wings, I think, represent the strength of her animal energy, which she has made friends with. The ascending snake depicts primal energy, and the descending snake, I think, depicts cosmic energy. Both of these energies circulate within her, being present in the lower energy centers really is part of her strength, I would suggest. Now, when you are cut off from or not present in the lower part of your body, it manifests as a weakness or as an energetic split. Sometimes we have the idea that being centered means remaining very still. But as in my example of the belly dancer here, being centered actually is a powerful place from which to move, to dance, and to act. And as I have said, action that is in alignment with your inner core exudes a sense of strength and integrity, and you will be exuding this strength during this month. It's also telling you to have a lust for life, to enjoy yourself, to have no guilt about your sexual desires and fantasies, to enjoy your life while you are here on this material plane. You know, don't you, that you actually are a spirit that happens to be in a vehicle of chemicals which together make up the human body. You are enjoying this material life, and you are meant to. So have a lust for life. Well, where does that take us to then? I think we'll have a look at this center card here, which is the Wheel of Fortune, don't you? I think we'll have a look to see what it has to say here. Let me just make sure it's in focus for you and that it's properly aligned. There you go, Wheel of Fortune, good to see you there. Well, now in this painting here, it portrays, I think, the unfoldment of, incidentally, what does it say on the card itself? Flowing with change. Okay. Well, back to my thoughts. What was I saying to myself? I think that this portrays the unfoldment of life in both the human and the natural world. The ribbon, which is spiraling, you see this ribbon flying around here? Well, it's spiraling outward, and the stream of animals within it portrays life as a changing stream, evolutionary in nature. Do you know, the Navajo people of North America call nature the changing woman, and you get a sense of this from looking at the painting, don't you? The two figures, I think that this is a younger woman on the top here, and there is an older woman on the bottom here. They're within the wheel, and they represent changes within a human lifespan. And the buffalo, you see these things along here, the buffalo which are there on the horizon, I think what they're talking about is they represent your spirit guides which are watching over you this time as you journey through the month. Now, I think that this card indicates that a significant change is taking place or is just going to pop its head up over the horizon for you, One chapter is ending and another new one is beginning. And the change that is coming, I think, is good. It's good change. There's lots of good luck around here for you. This is a turning point in your life when things have been going badly for you, and I think you've been having something of a arid time recently, haven't you? This energy is saying that don't worry about that. Put it out of your mind, because now things are starting to turn around for the better. And isn't that welcome news? Well, the most appropriate posture during such a period is one of openness. Now, it can be helpful to experiment with practices that support openness, trust, and surrender. You might, for example, lie on the ground in an open position with your palms up, repeating an affirmation such as, "I open to and embrace the lessons that come to me. I know that I am held and guided, and that this unfoldment serves my soul's purpose, because you are guided. Your spirit guides are here with you. Listen to any fears that come up and hold them with compassion. Remember that many of your attempts to control are simply ways of trying to manage fear. Now, I think it's always helpful to stay current with your feelings and listen for guidance. Now, a personal journal is one place to do this. It can provide you with a temporary base and perhaps prevent you from being blindsided because you weren't paying attention. Physical practices like yoga, if you're interested in that, or exercise systems. I actually like weightlifting myself. I go to the gym and do, well, I won't call it bodybuilding for a man of my age, but I'm not in bad condition, I suppose, theoretically, notwithstanding my lifestyle, I guess. But exercise, develop a system, a daily life structure that can also help provide grounding. Now, looking at your life right now, can you identify a change that is happening? What is your attitude towards it? What helps you relax and open to change? And how do you resist it? Remember that even positive change can be stressful. People don't like change. So be gentle with yourself. You can ask friends for support, as well as ask for support from the many different parts of you and from your spirit guides, and of course, open yourself up to receive from the divine. Any part that is not going along is slowing you down. And although this can create delays, ultimately, it cannot stop the turning of the wheel of fortune and the better future that lies ahead of you now. Well, that takes us finally, I think, to this one here, doesn't it? And it is the Three of Discs. I love this energy, this Three of Discs. And of course, remember, this is the first card that you drew. Let's have a look at it. Integrated work is what it says. Let's see, what do you have to tell my friend here today? Well, in this painting, it looks to me like a woman it looks like she's performing a planting ritual. She is making space for frogs, snails, and other creatures, including them in her garden environment. The presence of the frog is especially meaningful here. As an amphibian, the frog is at home both on land and in water. The person who embodies frog energy is at home both in the more watery element of the inner life and the earth element of work in the world. Such a person can live in both worlds without having to leave either behind. So this is kind of, in a way, I think, asking you to look at how you integrate your emotional and physical needs into your work life. Maybe it's a time to ask, how can you bring the water element, the inner element, onto land? Work. How can I bring more authenticity into my life at work and create a more supportive environment for myself and others? This is a very auspicious card. Now, it's auspicious because it is Mars in the second decan of Capricorn, 3rd to the 12th of January. Well, Mars energy has assertion to it. It has vitality. And Capricorn represents, I think, generally, ambition, practicality, making things tangible. And do you know what the other good thing is? Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and so the energy of Mars is very constructive in this scenario in Capricorn, rather than what is, I suppose, its usual destructive self. And Capricorn's materialism benefits from the energy and activity of Mars. So this card signifies that investing time and effort in work, however broadly you want to define that, is going to turn out favorably. This could talk about new duties in your job or career. It might even talk about a new job. Career satisfaction, doing a good job, continual progression, productivity, maybe consulting with others, and teamwork is involved here as well. There's a gradual progress going on here, and understand to have a duty to yourself. This indicates, I think, a full employment of your energies in any situation which you feel yourself obliged to deal with is going to turn out well. And you will be willing to undertake even difficult tasks. And this sense of obligation is going to come from within. Now, there's going to be reward for your hard work and dedication. Your skills and knowledge are going to move you forward. It's good outcomes for career, business, projects, and practical matters for you. Life generally, I think, is going to feel in balance, and you will reap the rewards of a balanced life. You'll have a great ability to stick with things and to overcome obstacles. So hoist your spinnaker and let the wind fill it and push you forward. Now, some situation, I think, is demanding your readiness to work steadily. Engage yourself totally, because it's worth it. In what areas do you still hold yourself back? In which areas could you be giving more of your energies? Find out and remain aware of what you want to set your full energies towards achieving. And say to yourself, I am now ready to give everything and to receive everything. Well, what a fantastic spread of cards for you. Well done. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, what a fantastic month for you. Great to see you again, and thank you very much for watching. It's a pleasure to be doing this with you. I do like that. And if you did like it, please do me the favor of hitting the like button. The YouTube gods like that, and it enables other people to maybe have a look at the video and enjoy what we enjoy doing ourselves. This is going to be a good month for you. I think you've got plenty to be looking forward to and things to do. So that has been food for thought, and you get together and remember this, and remember one thing always, and it is that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. So until then, it's bye for now.